I still hear her voice, even now soft, sweet, and filled with promises she never meant to keep. Bring me your brother, or your family will never wake up. Before that night, life was simple. My name is Chika, and I lived with my family in a small hut just outside the palace walls. My father was a palace guard, proud and strong, though we were poor. My mother sold plantains in the market, always smiling, even on the hardest days. My brother, Chidi, was only 6. He was my shadow, always following me, always laughing. Even when Chidi got sick, he still tried to play with me. He'd cough until tears rolled down his cheeks, but he'd still smile, clinging to my hand. I promised him he'd get better soon. I never broke my promises. Our village whispered about Muna, the youngest princess of Odu. They called her the Jewel, but those close to the palace knew the truth. She was born during an eclipse, they said, and the darkness stayed with her. Some villagers claimed they heard strange sounds from the palace when she was near. Others said her eyes would turn black like night. I didn't believe any of it. Until that night. I woke up suddenly, my heart racing. There was a strange smell, burnt hair, sharp and bitter. The room was dark, but I felt something watching me. In the corner, she stood. Muna. Her white wrapper glowed faintly, soaked in moonlight. At first, she looked like the princess I'd seen from afar, beautiful, almost delicate. But then she smiled. Her teeth, they were wrong. Sharp, too many, like a predator's. Your family is asleep, she whispered. Her voice was soft but cold, like ice sliding down my spine. But they won't wake up unless you do as I say. I wanted to scream, but my voice was gone. What do you want? I managed to whisper. Your brother, she said simply. Bring him to me. I froze. Chidi had been sick all week. He was small and fragile. I couldn't give him to her. But when I tried to speak, something invisible wrapped around my neck. I couldn't breathe. Don't lie to me, Muna said, stepping closer. Her eyes, they turned black. No whites. Just black. Do it, or they'll all stay like this. Cold. Forever. Tears filled my eyes as I ran to Chidi's side. He was still breathing, barely. His chest rose and fell with effort. I couldn't lose him, but I couldn't fight her. I picked him up, my heart breaking with every step. Outside, the big Iroko tree loomed behind our hut. Muna stood there, waiting. Her smile was like a blade. Good, she said, holding out her hands. Now, leave. I hesitated. What are you going to do to him? Her smile vanished. Her face twisted, ugly and monstrous. Go, she snarled. I ran, tears blinding me. I don't know how far I went, but when I turned back, the tree was gone. Not cut down. Not burned. Just gone. And with it, my brother. When I returned, my parents were awake. My mother's eyes were filled with panic. Where is Chidi? She cried. My father searched the hut, calling his name. I couldn't speak. I just stood there, the weight of guilt pressing down on me. The next day, they found Chidi's shoes near the river. The villagers said he must have wandered off. My parents wept, but I knew the truth. Muna had taken him. Every night after that, I heard her voice. You did well. I'll come back for you soon. I couldn't live with the guilt. One night, I decided to find her again. I walked into the forest, my feet heavy with fear. The old shrine stood in a clearing, broken and forgotten. Shadows seemed to whisper. There she was. Muna. You came back, she said softly. Why did you take him? I shouted, my voice trembling. She looked down, tears in her eyes. The darkness, it wasn't me. It took over me. I couldn't stop it. What darkness? I demanded. She pointed to the shrine. It was buried here. A spirit of greed and hunger. My ancestors thought they locked it away. But when I was born, it woke up. It chose me. Used me. Where is it now? She looked at me, pain in her eyes. You helped destroy it. I didn't understand. The night you brought Chidi to the tree, she said, the darkness tried to take him. But your love, your sacrifice weakened it. I felt tears streaming down my face. But Chidi is gone. Yes, she whispered. But his soul is free. Your love broke the curse. After that night, the whispers about Muna stopped. The village healed slowly. People saw her differently. She wasn't the cursed princess anymore. She became a protector. I carried Chidi's memory with me, like a torch. I watched over the village children. I made sure they were safe. Every night, I whispered to the wind, hoping Chidi could hear me. I miss you. I'll keep going. For you.